Imagine a world locked in the grip of a giant. We are drifting near Jupiter, the king of planets, a swirling storm of gas and gravity that dominates the dark. But our focus is not on the giant. It is on the small, pale marble orbiting quietly in its shadow. This is Europa. At first glance, it appears to be a wasteland. It is the smoothest object in the solar system, a billiard ball of ice scarred by long, reddish cracks that look like veins on a translucent wrist. The surface temperature hovers at -160 degrees Celsius. It is hard as granite, bathed in lethal radiation from Jupiter's magnetic field. To stand on this surface would be to stand in a place of absolute sterility, where the vacuum sucks the moisture from stone and the cold stops all chemistry dead in its tracks. But the surface is a lie, or rather, it is a mask. Beneath this frozen shell, beneath the 10, perhaps 20 kilometers of diamond hard ice, something miraculous is happening. There is a secret. Europa is hiding an ocean. It is not a pocket of water. It is a global sea, containing twice as much water as all of Earth's oceans combined. It wraps around the entire rocky core of the moon, a continuous, dark, encompassing sphere of liquid. The ice above is not a coffin. It is a blanket. It is a shield. It blocks the deadly radiation. It insulates the warmth. It separates the vacuum of space from the sanctuary below. Let us descend. Let us ghost through the crust. We pass through the radiation-blasted surface ice, down into the colder, brittle depths, until the pressure mounts and the ice becomes slushy, warm, and pliable. And then we break through. We are in the water. The first thing you notice is the darkness. On Earth, the ocean is defined by how the light plays on the waves, by the blue gradient that fades as you dive. Here, there is no sun. There has never been a sun. For 4 billion years, this ocean has been wrapped in a pitch black night. But do not mistake darkness for emptiness. The water here is salty, rich with minerals, and crucially, it is warm. This warmth is a gift from the giant above. As Europa orbits Jupiter, the massive gravity of the planet grabs the moon and squeezes it. The moon stretches and relaxes, like a rubber ball being squeezed in a fist. This friction, deep within the rocky core, generates heat. It keeps the ocean from freezing. It turns the moon into a living battery. Down here, in the eternal night, the water is not still. It is circulating. Heat rises from the seafloor, carrying nutrients, creating currents that flow like slow, heavy rivers through the dark. And perhaps, just perhaps, there is light, not from a star, but from life. Imagine swimming through this endless black void and seeing a flicker, a soft blue-green pulse in the distance. Then another, then a chain of them. In the depths of Earth's own oceans, where sunlight cannot reach, creatures create their own light, bioluminescence. It is the language of the deep. Here, under the ice of Europa, life may have evolved to glow. Picture delicate, translucent ribbons of jelly drifting in the currents, pulsing with a faint, ghostly radiance. Picture schools of small silver swimmers, their sides flashing with chemical fire to signal to one another. These creatures would have no concept of a sky. They would have no concept of a surface. To them, the ice ceiling is the end of the universe, a solid white firmament that keeps them safe. There is a profound peace in this isolation. On Earth, life is exposed. We are buffeted by winds, scorched by the sun, threatened by asteroids, and constantly observed. We live in the open, fighting for space on a two-dimensional crust. But in Europa's ocean, life is cradled. It is held in a three-dimensional womb. The storms of Jupiter rage thousands of miles above. The radiation belts scream with invisible energy. But down here, the water is calm. The temperature is stable. The environment has likely remained unchanged for eons. This is the beauty of the barrier. We often speak of walls as negative things. We are told to tear down walls, to open ourselves up, to be vulnerable, to let the light in. We associate thickness with defensiveness and closure with fear. But Europa teaches us a different lesson. It teaches us that sometimes a wall is the only thing that allows life to exist. Without that 20-kilometer crust of ice, the ocean would boil away into the vacuum. The heat would vanish. The potential for life would be extinguished in seconds. The ice is not a prison. It is a sanctuary. It is the heavy door locked against a violent storm. Think of the times in your own life when the world felt too loud, too harsh, too demanding. The radiation of expectations, the gravity of responsibilities, the cold indifference of the crowd. It can all feel like the surface of Europa exposed, dangerous. In those moments, there is a wisdom in retreating beneath the ice. There is a wisdom in building a shell, not to trap yourself, but to preserve the warmth that is inside you. We all have an internal ocean, a place of deep feelings, of creativity, of soft bioluminescent dreams that cannot survive the harsh light of the surface world. That part of you needs protection. It needs a layer of silence. The ocean of Europa is a testament to the power of the hidden. It suggests that the most precious things in the universe are not the ones that shout for attention, or the ones that reflect the most sunlight. The most precious things are often the ones that are buried deep, keeping their own counsel, generating their own heat from the friction of existence. Let us return to the vision of the seafloor. Here we might find hydrothermal vents, towering chimneys of rock spewing superheated water rich in sulfur and iron. These are the cities of this dark world. Around these vents, colonies of bacteria might form mats of living slime, feeding not on photosynthesis, but on chemosynthesis. They eat the chemistry of the rocks. They are independent of the sun. If you were to float there, suspended in that heavy mineral-rich water, you would feel a crushing weight, yes. But you would also feel held. The pressure of the ocean is a hug from all sides. It is a state of suspension where up and down lose their meaning. There is no horizon to chase. There is no sunset to mourn. There is only the eternal now of the deep. In this world, loneliness is recontextualized as solitude. A creature swimming alone in the European Sea is not missing out on the party of the universe. It is entirely complete in its own context. It does not know that there are stars above the ice. It does not need to know. Its universe is small, contained, and sufficient. There is a specific kind of romance in this secret existence. Imagine a civilization of intelligent cephalopods, squid-like thinkers, living in these waters. They would build their cities out of stone and bone in the dark. They would tell myths about the great white roof that protects them from the nothingness. Beyond, they would be the philosophers of the dark, understanding the universe through sound and vibration rather than sight. They would be safe. While meteors slammed into the crust above, shaking the ice like thunder, they would simply feel a vibration in the water, a distant shudder, and they would continue their slow, graceful drift. As we pull our consciousness back up, rising through the water, leaving the bioluminescent lights behind, we re-enter the ice. We pass through the layers of history frozen in the crust. We emerge back onto the desolate surface, where Jupiter hangs like a watching eye. The contrast is jarring, the surface is beautiful, in a jagged crystalline way, but it is dead. It is the armor, the life is all on the inside. This is the model of the introvert's cosmos. It validates the need for a private world. It reminds us that what is visible on the outside, the face we show to the world, the hard shell we present to strangers, is often just the necessary structure required to keep the inside soft and alive. You do not need to be transparent. You do not need to let everyone swim in your waters. It is okay to be icy on the surface if it means you are warm in the deep. The universe is full of these hidden pockets. It is not just vast emptiness and burning stars. It is full of secrets wrapped in boxes, locked away for safekeeping. Europa is the ultimate treasure chest, floating in the dark, refusing to open its lid. And perhaps it should stay closed. We talk of sending probes to drill through the ice, to send robotic submarines to hunt for life. And while the scientist in us craves the discovery, the poet in us might hesitate. There is something sacred about a place that has never been touched. There is something profound about a world that exists entirely for itself without an audience. But even without drilling, we know it is there. We know that right now, as you listen to this, billions of miles away, the tide is turning under the ice. The vents are smoking. The currents are swirling. Let this image settle in your mind. A silent black ocean, warm and alive, protected by a fortress of ice. It is a beacon of hope in a cold universe. It proves that life does not need to be easy to exist. It just needs a safe place to hide. It proves that even in the coldest reaches of space, there is warmth if you go deep enough. So, construct your ice, tend to your inner fire, and know that in the silence of your own depths, you are as vast and mysterious as a moon of Jupiter. The surface may be frozen, but the ocean within is yours, and it is teeming with wonders that no one else needs to see to believe.